Hello my lovelies, and welcome to your full moon in Gemini reading. This is a full moon that happens on the 27th of November 2023, and of course this is good for the day before and the day after, so the 26th through the 28th of November. We're going to take a quick look-see about what's going on for the collective during this time. I do have your main spread out on the table. We'll be clarifying with two oracle decks. Our main deck is the Tarot of the Abyss. Our clarifiers are the messages from the Mermaids and the Oracle of the Fairies. I will also list those in the description box down below along with your timestamps. So let's go ahead and jump into your reading. Okay, what is the overall energy for this full moon? We have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Six of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so what are we letting go of? Because it doesn't serve us now. And of course, what is it that we can identify in the past that we hadn't let go of then, that needs to be let go of now? Okay, so a little bit of going into the past and digging up things that need a shift, things that need a change. Let's start over here for the overall energy. I found it funny that they asked for two oracle decks, one fairies, one mermaids, but they're both by Karen K. Cheap amusement. Be spontaneous. Okay. Maybe not be so tightly wound. Remember to have a little bit of fun. Perhaps we've been a little bit too rigid with ourselves. All work and no play. Maybe that's something a lot of us really need to let go of. Gentleness. Ah, yes, be gentle with yourself. Self-acceptance. Not being overly critical on yourself. Because let's face it, we all have baggage. We all hold things, carry things around with us far longer than what we need to. So, realizing that it is one thing, but being nice to ourselves while that process is happening is quite another. Innocence. Yeah. Don't, like I said, don't be overly critical. Don't be harsh on yourself for the things that you didn't know, for the outcomes that you don't know. Remember, hindsight is always 20/20. You can't change the past. And there's things that you didn't know in the past that you know now. So when you go back and you look for things that went wrong, need to be corrected, remember to be compassionate to yourself, but at the same time realize that at that point the outcome was an unknown. So a little bit of a perspective shift you need to be aware of. Let's go down here to your obstacles. We have the Seven of Cups, the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, the Five of Pentacles, the Two of Cups in the reverse. A lot of reversal cards. Five of Pentacles in the reverse, Two of Pentacles, yeah, Two of Cups in the reverse, Eight of Swords in the reverse, Page of Wands in the reverse, Three of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. Obstacle, yeah. Okay. You probably were faced with a lot of different choices. Whether that's currently or more appropriately in the past. And some of those were not necessarily ones that you needed to move forward with. Not to say that they were overly harsh, overly critical, utter disasters, you know. We're not talking about utter road rage and, you know, burning down the house if we took that option. It was just, we were presented with a lot of options that we probably took or utilized without knowing, that we weren't meant to connect with. Not that it kept us stuck or hindered us in a significant way. It just kind of slowed our progress. You might perceive that as painful looking at it now, or in the aftermath. Why? Because at the time it rang with a little bit of truth. When we make choices that are honest at the time, or honest as we are doing them, why? Because they ring true. It can be a little painful when we discover that that choice, that option, that way we went, was not something that was beneficial to us later. Okay, so a little bit painful, a little bit distracting. Yeah, like I said, be kind to yourself. You might beat yourself up of, oh crap, why did I choose that? Why did I go down that path? It wasn't an utter train wreck, but still, I should have known I was going to trip and fall. Be careful of how you're speaking to yourself. Because, yeah, mantras like that, okay. And they're showing me how his head is open with birds flying out. Those words, those ideas, those thoughts, those are actually there to keep you stuck. Those are there to cause you harm. So don't beat yourself up. Don't be overly critical. Just realize that, hey, as far as you knew, as far as you could see, you did the most honest thing you could. Try to tell yourself that. Okay, obstacle. What would you like to add for the obstacle? Purity. Always trust the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart, and within it you will find the answer to your question. Yeah. Ask yourself, was that the most honest choice you could make at the time, knowing what you knew? Knowing what you saw? Knowing how you felt? If the answer is yes, then stop beating yourself up. Accept that, okay, you might have made a mistake, but at the time, you didn't know that was a mistake. And that is all right. Instead, you were just choosing something that was best for you. You thought you saw light there. You thought you saw something worth it. You thought you had the right direction, and that's where you were guided to go. And if that turns out not to be true, all right. Accept it, move on. Okay, we're going to come up here to our blessings. We have the Six of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Six of Wands in the reverse, the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups in the reverse, the Three of Wands in the reverse, the World in the reverse, the Empress, the Seven of Wands in the reverse, and the Star in the reverse. Yeah, you may not realize it, that you can move on from that heartache, that pain. Oh, okay. They're actually pointing to the little birdie cutout that's on this Three of Swords. You can move on from anything that wasn't stable, successful, the best opportunity, the best choices. That is now making itself available for you to move on from, for you to transcend that, to actually learn and perfect it, to gain your own experience, fully knowing that, okay, you had a misstep, you had a mistake. Hey, you did that right, but this you did wrong. Everyone has ups and downs, so we have to accept the good and the bad both. And with that, we're actually learning and perfecting how we feel about this. The discomfort, maybe the lack of confidence we have in ourselves as a result. The over-critiquing, beating ourselves up, causing ourselves emotional harm. You know, the naysaying that doesn't get us anywhere. Yeah, because it doesn't solve an issue. We're now getting blessed and inspired by the universe to realize that some things are not for us. And if we choose something that's not for us, we don't have to persist in that energy, and we don't have to hold on to it if we can't give it the life that we had intended to when we chose it. Instead, we're being able to not only move on from that energy, but take better care of ourselves, nurture ourselves inside and out of, okay, I made choices. I did things. I experienced things. Yes. Good things, bad things, great things, horrible things. Some of that will stick with me into the future, and the rest, well, the knowledge will. The memory will still be there, but some of it I have to let go of, because it doesn't have a future with me. It is not something I can continue to birth or carry forward. It is something that really just has to die. It has to dissolve from being a living entity to a memory that just gives me knowledge in the now, in the future, a lesson. Okay, I was not expecting us to go quite so deep. So, blessings. Woo! We have communication. Yeah, be careful what you tell yourself. This is also about correcting how you speak to yourself. Not beating yourself up. Not lowering your self-esteem. Not, appreciating yourself just because you made a mistake. Friendship. Yeah, be your own best friend. Treat yourself kindly. Be nice to yourself. The universe is trying to treat you kindly. Why aren't you? Inner knowing. Yeah, there's going to be a moment when you're going to realize that some things are too heavy, some things are too hard, some things need to not keep on living. So the best way to take care of yourself is to only take the positive things forward, and then the negative, just keep the knowledge. Observe, not absorb. Take the lesson, use the lesson, but don't live in the lesson. Okay, advice. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, the Hermit in the reverse, the Two of Wands in the reverse, the Page of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Nine of Wands in the reverse, the Magician, the Chariot in the reverse, and we have the King of Swords. Okay, our advice. We all fail sometimes. We are not alone in that. Not by any means. There's always something that we put our energy into, we try out, we dabble in, we throw ourselves into, we invest in. Yeah, maybe one thing, maybe several things, all areas, what have you. We're not alone in failures and things not succeeding. We all have that. It tests our mettle. It tests our heart. It tests our confidence. It tests our ability to explore our world and the connections we have to it. And as downtrodden as that may make us feel, we can always correct it. We can always try again, knowing full well where we went wrong, where we didn't succeed. So don't live in the failure. Live in the lesson. Don't live in the failure. Live in the lesson. Okay. We always perceive failures as something negative. It saps our confidence. It causes us to beat ourselves up. But when we focus on not the emotional side of things not succeeding, and instead we realized why the failure happened, we learn the lesson. So knowing why we failed, how we failed, where we failed, will help us try again, do better, to create what we really wanted to. Okay, advice. Stargazing. When you gaze at the stars, you give yourself fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. King of Swords. Yep. If you pay attention, you'll find the lesson. Let me say that again. If you pay attention, you will find the lesson instead of the failure. Look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring insight you seek. Yeah, sometimes you have to go to outward sources to find maybe a correct way, a better way, or where you went wrong. Sometimes it's just a nuance of procedure, and we had the right concept, but our execution was piss poor. Motivation. When spring approaches, the flower fairies urge you to spring into action. If there's something you've been merely thinking about doing, they say get busy and do it. So, if you failed, guess what? You can always try again. You can always put things into action. And if you've perceived that you've failed before before you even started, based on other past experiences that seem similar, you got to kick that right in the face and say, nope, I'm going to try it anyway. Okay. Advice. Gratitude. Yeah, be thankful for your failures. Their lessons, their experiences. be happy you had them. I'm not saying they're going to be all rainbows, sunshines, and, you know, unicorns. No. Some bad experiences are downright uncomfortable. Even looking back on them are uncomfortable. But they shape who you are. They help you move forward. So showing gratitude for your failures, for your lessons, for your experience that you've had in life is a good thing to do. Healing. Oh yes. We are trying to correct our approach here, making things easier. And yes, gratitude itself will be healing. Living in the lesson and not the failure will heal that self-confidence as well. Feelings. Oh yes, all of us have feelings about this. We don't like being tested. We don't like things going wrong. We don't like the aftermath. We don't like the struggle. We don't like the disappointment. Contemplation. But in the grand scheme of things, if we can distance ourselves emotionally and find that lesson, there's something to be gained. Live in the lesson, not the failure. Okay, my lovelies, we are to our last position. This is the unexpected. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, Strength, the Ten of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords in the reverse, and the Ten of Swords. Yeah, you probably are not aware of how much there is to be gained this full moon, going through this process, looking back, coming to terms with choices, failures, lessons, things to be integrated, left behind. Why? Well, there's so much to be gained that supports you, the future you, makes you more resilient, makes you stronger, makes you more capable of handling a happier, brighter future. Your world opens up quite a lot more, all because you realize there's certain things that no longer serve you, things that are out of balance, out of whack, that you will not choose again. Why? Because you're no longer living in the failure, you're living in the lesson. That lesson sticks with you. You're able to utilize it, recognize it. And that alleviates the pain, the negative self-talk, you know, the insecurities, the gremlins that live inside you when you do that. Instead, you defeat them. They no longer have power over you. So if you have any current choices that you're making that are relatively stuck, or maybe even some that are way in the past, all those negative little voices in your head, you can get rid of those. You can open up your world wider. You're able to be more resilient, stand taller, stand stronger. That's what's there for you to be gained. That's what's going to support you going forward. That lesson. That's your opportunity. I'm not saying it'll be a fun one to try and, suss out, but it will be worth it. Okay. Unexpected. Free spirit. Yeah. It frees a part of you. You're no longer chained by past misdeeds, past choices, past mistakes, those failures. Whether they're ones that you've perceived as failures in your head or they were literal failures. Yeah. There's a part of you that opens up. Free spirit. You get to dream again. And yes, regain a bit of your innocence. And for some of you, this is something that happened in childhood. You're now coming to terms with it. Okay. Yeah, gentleness. Remember, you're going to have to be kind to yourself. And eventually, you'll get to that point where you can be kind to yourself. Why? Because you're stronger. You have more of a voice. You're more confident in who you are, whether you've done something right or done something wrong. You see more truth that way. The world is opened up more for you. Be spontaneous. Yeah. This will help you be a little bit more carefree. Perhaps even more ambitious. Get you back out there exploring your world. Wanting to engage. Why? Because there's nothing as seated in your inner world, your mental world, your emotional world, holding you back. You don't have that little stop sign internally going, nope, can't do it. Instead, you're free, you're open. You're living in the lesson and not the failure. So that makes room for play. That leaves more for spontaneity. That leaves more for joy. That leaves more for new discoveries without that little inkling of voice going, you'll fail again. So risk-taking becomes a thing again. Okay, what else do they give us? Memories. Yeah. Why? Because you've rectified your memories. They're not as painful. They don't hold power over you anymore. You're not living with the failure. You're not living in the memory. You're living with the lesson. Okay. Unexpected. Protection. Ooh, I love this. Protection. The fairies of protection are shielding you with a magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking any spiritual work. Yeah. This is you. Learning how to protect yourself. Why? Because you become your own champion. You become your own strength instead of your own weakness. You're not vulnerable, but you're open. So being able to self-protect while being open to receive, being able to explore your world, expand your world, shine from within. Looks are only skin deep, true beauty shines from within, and it's time for you to shine. This is time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. Yeah. Your confidence comes back. It's that strength card I keep coming back to. Magical blessings. Whatever you're going through, you're being assisted by the magical fairy blessings. The fairies say you can bless others too. And let's face it, anytime you overcome something just the same way a bone breaks and then regrows back 10 times stronger, you've learned a lesson. You've had an experience, life experience. And that means not only is that beneficial to you, but you can share that with others. Why? Because you've gained a knowledge. Knowledge to impart Yeah, celebration. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out, dance, and play. An invitation could be on its way. Yeah, being open to receive, risk-taking, be spontaneous. It's being able to get back to living without distraction, without hindering yourself, without those gremlins, those little voices telling you to stop. Find balance. Find the balance between your work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and your productivity in your life. Take a power nap. And for this is just literally, you find your footing, you find your foundation, you find your grounding, you find your voice, your confidence. Why? Because you're finding balance in your world. You're more in the present. Ask for help. Angels are celestial beings who protect everyone. And the fairies say now is the time for you to ask for angelic assistance. Yeah, if you are stuck, ask for help. But at this point, the universe is literally gifting you this opportunity. It is ripe for the picking. So it says these apples. The time for you to best do this is now. They're making it available. They're actually gifting it to you. So utilize it while you can. Like I said, it's an amazing opportunity. You can reap some really great benefits. Inspiration. Be prepared, as you'll soon receive a visit from the Fairy of Inspiration. Come dusk or dawn, she can call at any time. Yeah. Being more spontaneous, risk-taking, exploring your world. Hey, things open up. Fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. Having confidence in yourself is everything. Knowing that you are not weak, that you do have what it takes, that you can move forward with confidence, with joy, with a surety, with knowledge that you've gained, changes your world. Instead of being pessimistic, you end up being optimistic. Why? Because you're more centered, grounded, and self-assured. Journey. It's time to prepare for a journey. It may be impromptu or planned. Either way, make sure you're ready when the time comes. Pack your passport. Yeah. This is all part of life. But they're making this available to you now. Yes, some things you can see along the way, other things you can't. But you have to take the journey. And this is a part of the journey. Just remember, live in the lesson, not the failure. Alright, my lovelies. That is all I have for you for this new moon in Gemini, or not new moon, full moon. Sorry, I was being corrected. Full moon in Gemini reading. I hope this resonated for you, and if it does, by all means give me a big thumbs up. It is the quickest way to let me know that you resonate with the reading. Although if you have a mind to, go ahead and shout at me in the comment section and down below. Feel free to share the video anywhere online. I truly appreciate those that do. It does help the channel grow, believe it or not. And if you like this content and are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell in the bottom right hand corner. That way you know anytime I post one of my videos or I do a live stream. I hope to see you guys in the future, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.